Well, he recently announced his departure from WDIV TV after spending years on the air here in Detroit, and soon he'll be returning to his hometown. And before he does so, he has a new album and great things he like to do as he's always been doing, giving back to the community. We'll talk more about that. But joining us right now, the one and only Evrod Cassimy. What's going on?
What's going on, Andre? It's good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you as well. So people have been waking up here in Detroit to you for quite some time. You've been the morning one of the morning faces of television here in Detroit, and you recently announced your departure. And tell us about it. I mean, people are going to miss you, Evrod.
I'm going to miss people here in Detroit as well. It's been 9 years, and I think when you know that it's time, you know that it's time. And it's bittersweet. It's exciting to be able to return home, but Detroit has been my home for the past 9 years, and it will always be my second home. And I'm just so grateful for the time that I've spent here. I've watched my family grow here. You guys have watched my family grow here. And
your kids are bigger than ever. Just like this.
Yep, I started here with only one child. He wasn't even a year old, and now I have three of them, and the youngest is just over a year, so about a year and a half.
Yeah, there's this camaraderie and that's displayed between the morning cast, particularly you and Rhonda, that have had viral moments. What do they call you guys now? Rhonda?
Yeah, it was our friend Al Roker who came up with that, and it just kind of stuck. I mean, people send us T-shirts with Evranda on them. I've gotten cards and letters and stuff like that with the name Evranda on it. So I hate that Evranda is breaking up, so to speak. But
you guys have that chemistry. I mean, tell me how you're gonna miss working with your co-host who you worked with for 9 years every single day, Rhonda Walker, who's a
I'm definitely gonna miss her. I mean, what you guys get to see is truly real and authentic. We just hung out Monday night over at the Daxton Hotel, and my kids call her Auntie Rhonda. I remember when we first moved here, we didn't know anybody. My family lived still back home in Chicago, and my son was getting ready to turn 1. Just a few weeks after we moved here, and he didn't have any friends, and we were having a birthday party for him. And at best we could do, we flew. My parents flew in, and my mother-in-law flew in. But I was like, "There's no kids here. Like, there's nobody here in Detroit that will be able to celebrate his birthday with him." And Auntie Rhonda came, and she bought him this stuffed animal. It was the lion from the Lions. And he still has it to this day. So now my daughter plays with it. But yeah, she showed up, and that was the first time that she met my kids. And they've called her Auntie, well, my son only at the time. And all three of my kids now call her Auntie Rhonda.
Is there a moment you'll miss most, or story you've covered that is profound, that sticks with you over your time?
There's a lot of them, Andre. I think back to, I used to do a segment called Inspired Today, where we would surprise people that have experienced just a horrible time in life, and we wanted to do something to them to inspire them and give them a little bit of inspiration. Mm-hmm. And the time that I can remember, I interviewed a father who had lost his son, who was his best friend, lost his son in a tragic four-wheeling accident. Mm. And I just had one son at the time. But I remember interviewing this father, and he just sobbed and sobbed and sobbed and sobbed through the whole interview. His son was 17. And, as much as I would like to, we can't bring his son back. But I was able to tap into a number of resources, and there was a local nursery that gave us a tree to give to him, a baby tree. And they were going to plant it wherever he wanted, so that as time went on, this tree would grow, and this tree was in honor and memory of his son. So he chose to have it planted at the church that he and his family went to, where his son was a part of youth group. And so the story aired, and I'm just watching the story back, and it just hit me. And I could not even speak after the story was done, because it's just such a horrible thing to have happen. You're not supposed to bury your children. And to have something like that happen, not due to anything else but a freak accident. And I just really felt for him. So that's memorable to me. And all of those stories truly are, being able to surprise people and gift them with certain things, thanks to members of our community that have different resources available. Those will always be incredibly memorable and special. All the stories and time that I spent with Aretha Franklin, those will always be memorable and unforgettable, quite frankly.
Yeah, you guys had a deep connection.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it came through in the stories that you would report on with her.
absolutely. Absolutely. Every once in a while, I'll go back and I'll look at some of the text messages from her and, just remembering our last moments together and not knowing that they were our last moments together. And so that's a time that I will always remember here in Detroit as well.
Yeah. So you recently announced that you would be going to Chicago, and apparently this is a station that you at one time interned with, right?
Yeah. When I was in college, I interned at NBC5 in Chicago, and that was during my freshman years when I first walked into the building on a tour, thanks to one of the classes that I took in college. And I remember walking into the building. I met a Black male anchor there by the name of Art Norman. And I said to myself, I want to be just like him. And I asked him, I said, I want to be your intern. And he says, I have a long list of interns for years to come, people that want to specifically intern under him. And I said, okay, all right. Well, I got to figure out a different way to get to know him and get to be mentored by him. And I reached out to another reporter in the building, and she said, yes, I could be her intern. So I worked with her one day a week, and she actually suggested to him that I be one of his interns as well. So I piggybacked on with another one of his interns that he had. So there were two of us on one day a week. And I loved interning under both of them. I still keep in touch with both of them to this day. And so that was my freshman year in college. And then fast forward to my senior years when I actually got to do the internship, or my junior year, I believe it was. And I would literally walk from my dorm room down to NBC Tower in Chicago, where they taped Jerry Springer and Judge Mathis and stuff like that. And I said, one day I want to work in this building and tell stories in Chicago. And that was 16 years ago. Wow. And here we are 16 years later, I get a call that I get to come back and go back home and work at the station that I've always wanted to work at. That really started my love for journalism.
I was going to say, because it seems like it's all come full circle, and that's where in college you got your start or love for journalism, right?
Yeah, absolutely. My very first class in college, I knew that I wanted to do this, but you know how like when people have an idea as to what they want to do, they go to college for it, they start taking the classes and everything, and they're like, whoa, this is a lot harder than I thought, or maybe this isn't as fun as I thought. No, my first class in college, I remember the teacher. I still talk to her to this day as well. And I said to myself, this is definitely what I want to do.
Now, you are not one to be put in a box.
Why you say that?
You got the television career, and then you also have your love and passion as an artist for music. Mm-hmm. So when did that start?
So that started when I was 3 years old. I've been singing since I was 3, and in church, like most Black folk, as they say. Yeah. My father is a singer as well. He's a very talented singer at that, and so they always encouraged me to sing in church. But I've also loved writing. So as a young, 4th, 5th grader, I would write stories and I would type them up on the computer. I would print them out on the 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper. Yeah. And we would
was it a typewriter?
Don't even start with me. That was shade. I'm not that old, Andre. I'm not that much older. And so we typed them up on the computer. We printed them out, and then I would find cardboard boxes, and I would cut out a cardboard box about the size of the 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper. My parents got wallpaper for me, and I would bind this book myself, and I would create my own book. We would staple it all together, and And then I even took my school photos and I would put it on the inside cover and wrote the about the author section. I did all the illustrations. Title of the book was Mike Jones Runs for Class President. And at the time I ran for class president. So I was basically telling a story about myself. And so I always loved that. And then I started writing like choose your adventure books when those were popular. And my mom still has those today and she loves to show them off. I'm like, Mom, that was so amateur, but it was the only way that a 4th, 5th grader knew how to put a book together. And so as
Amazon existed back then, you could have been selling your own books.
Right, exactly. And so after a while, I'm singing more in church and then writing stories, and kind of came together and wrote stories to music. And I wanted to go to school to study music, but I also wanted to do something where I knew I could have a lucrative career. And my mom was the one who suggested, well, you like asking questions, so why don't you be a news reporter? And I said, I think you're right. And I signed up to go to Columbia College, and here we are 16 years later.
As usual, Mom is always right. So let's talk about the new album. You have coming up, The Life of James. So what inspired this new piece and product that's
it was inspired by The Life of James, to be completely honest. I wanted to put out a new album this year. Turns out to be an EP type of album, so it's 4 songs, and I wanted to write songs about life and James's life. And newsflash, I'm James. My middle name is James, and I've always said that if you really know a person, chances are you know their middle name. Think of all the people whose middle names that you know. These are people that you know very, very well. Think about when your mom is trying to get your attention or your dad is trying to get your attention. They will call you by your full. Exactly. So for me, I said, okay, if I'm going to be writing these songs, these are true to life songs and stories to music. I'm giving people an insight as to who I truly, really am, with taking into consideration that a lot of the songs are that I've written over time are not just about me, but about stories from people that I know. And so I wanted to turn that into a project, and here we are, 4 songs later. And I decided to call it The Life of James because it's really allowing you to get to know me on a real intimate level.
I love
it. I don't mean intimate in the sexual way. I'm talking like intimate, like really personal.
Engaging.
There you go.
Well, we got a chance to get a little preview of one of the songs, and one of them that I love the most is Love Me Back. Let's take a listen.
Take my phone away, cause I've been Instagram stalking you all day, searching for any clues, like where you be at, you got a boo. I double tap away and slide into your DMs, and somehow I'm believing you could be mine. Damn fine.
So I feel like I can listen to that like every day, like on the radio right now. Love Me Back. So talk to us a little bit about what went into that particular song. It has the social media vocabulary. That was like, okay, all right.
What I want to know is, out of all the songs on the EP, what made you like that one?
Sliding into the DMs.
So whose DMs are you sliding into?
No, people are sliding into my DM.
Oh! Digital at Ashes Live.
Yeah. But I mean, what inspired that? Because I love the way you put that together.
It's about my life and the people that are in my life and the people that I know, and that was kind of a constant theme. I was always hearing from the people that are looking for relationships, and they're Instagram stalking, as people do these days. I've been out of the game for 16 years. I've been with my wife for 16 years. And so in this day and age, that's what people are doing. They see somebody that they like, they get their app, they find out what their handle is, and then they spend time Instagram stalking them. And so I wanted to write a song for that because it's it's like this new age of dating that I'm not privy to, but I enjoy hearing the stories. And I would hear from men and women who are looking for love. They want somebody to love them back, and every morning they wake up, they check their mentions, and that person's name is not there.
Oh,
And so they spend their time just wanting this person to love them back,
yeah,
and it almost becomes like this obsession. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And so I wanted to write a fun, syrupy pop song that kind of celebrates the desire and the fiendingness of it all when it comes to love in 2022.
Another song that I, thought was interesting on the album is "Underappreciated."
Oh,
Yeah, I'm switching on them. This song sneak dissing on them. Giving no straight dissing on them. Cause I'm tired. Time they step into the ring. I've done the same thing. I'll be fired. I'm feeling underappreciated.
And you talk about writing music that, in some cases, pertains to your life. What is that one?
yeah. I'm drinking coffee this morning, not tea, Andre. But you are. Underappreciated.
What's the place you were ready to spill some?
We need to clean up on aisle 3. So I feel like a lot of people have felt underappreciated, right? Would you say you've ever felt underappreciated?
Of course.
When?
Over the course of life.
Okay. I think we've all felt that way at some point, and that came from a place of wanting to give people a song to turn that negative feeling around. I think it's important to speak it out, let people know how you feel, but I wanted to give people an anthem that lets them know, like, hey, this is how I feel, and that I'm not going to tolerate that. I'm one to take any type of negative emotion. I don't like to just dwell in it and write this sad, sappy song. I want to write something that is in your face, something that is a little bit dancey, a little bit up tempo, and real.
Yeah. And we've all felt, like you said, underappreciated at times in our life, whether it's in relationships or whether it's with work. And the lyrics, that song is very interesting. So I encourage people to listen. That's for sure. But let's talk about what this album will do as you plan to give back. Right? You have a release party that's coming up, but also more than $40,000 that will go to support the work and efforts at Cass Tech High School.
Absolutely. Cass Tech High School, I always say, is the one school here in the city of Detroit that I just felt connected to from the moment that I walked in. I've always told the principal, man, I wish I went to this school. Fast forward, a few years after I first started here, I was covering a story at Cass Tech, and the principal, Miss Lisa Phillips, called me into her office, said she had a little bit of a surprise for me, and she gave me a cap and gown. She gave me an honorary diploma. We had a little mini graduation ceremony in her office, and that is one of the most memorable days that I've had out reporting as well. We talked about that earlier. That's one that I would add to that list. Being able to say that I'm an honorary Cass technician. I've got the diploma here to remind myself of that. And my parents are retired educators, and I've watched throughout their careers how they would go above and beyond what their requirements are on the job. My dad is a retired principal. My mom is a retired teacher. And they would always go above and beyond to make sure that the students who wanted to succeed were able to succeed. So that meant spending their money on certain things for the students, whether it's school supplies, rides home from school. I think one time my parents even gave a student a car that needed one for free. And those are the type of things that I saw my parents do. And in efforts of wanting to make them proud, and just also this sort of being ingrained in my child rearing days and in my DNA, I want to be able to give back in a real way, not just something that I can attach my name to, but something that I can really truly do from the bottom of my heart. And I always tell people, don't get involved in something or don't do something that you wouldn't do if it was for free.
Mm.
And this is something that I'm doing because I want to do. I don't make any money off of it, you know, and I also wanted to make sure that the efforts that I put forward, that people can join me in supporting this without having to spend a dime. So every year when I release a new project, I have an album release party and a live concert that turns into a fundraiser. So I raise all the money, donate a big check to who I've partnered with, which is an organization called the Triangle Society. They solely operate to support the needs of Cass Tech High School students. And I've been so appreciative to meet the CEOs of the nonprofit. Their names are Terry Berry and Monique Bryant. And Monique has actually turned her love for supporting Cass Tech students into a full-time position that she's working towards. She's running for a position on the school board of the DPSCD. And I've dedicated my work in terms of writing and recording these albums and having this big fundraiser to raising money for the students of Cass Tech through the Triangle Society. So everybody can come to this concert every year that I've been doing this. It's absolutely free. And then you have an opportunity to support Cass Tech students and the Triangle Society by buying merchandise or donating, because you and I know everybody's pockets look different. So right. You can come, you can donate $1 or you can donate $1 million, whatever you choose to do. And there's tons and tons of ways. I'm looking at all the merchandise that we have that'll be available at the event, different CDs and memorabilia and stuff like that. And that's just additional money that they're able to have to do the things that they need to do, like buying instruments for students, buying gowns for the choir ensemble, buying uniforms for the band members, the dance team, buying food, water, snacks, and stuff like that for the sports teams. Wow. And I've been there, you know, behind the scenes to watch as they donate these items to the students that need them. A lot of times it's a lot of tears because certain things, instruments are costly, sometimes thousands of dollars that some students may not be able to afford, but this helps them propel their high school careers to a infinite level.
And that's real dope. I mean, you are putting your money where your mouth is. You're giving back, and you know this is the one of the ways you're doing so. So, you know that's awesome. I've been to one of your fundraiser concerts before, so it's been real cool. And so November 5th, is when people can come out and support when, where, time, how people can support you, Cass Tech, and also, you know, see you one last time. Yeah,
absolutely. This is sort of like my farewell to Detroit concert. I don't know what the future is going to hold, but at least for right now, this is my going away party, have you. And it's November 5th. It is from 6 to 8 p.m. at Imagine Theater, Royal Oak. And the tickets are going fast. We're still accepting people. It's first come, first serve basis. But as of right now, we have all seats counted for, but people can still register and just get there early. The earlier you get there is the better chances you have of getting a seat. And Beth, everybody knows Beth in Detroit here and beyond. She's going to be my opening act, special guest performer. And then there's an after party to follow from 8 to 10. As long as you buy any piece of merchandise, you'll get a wristband that gets you access to the after party, where there'll be a DJ, music provided by DJ Bass, dancing. We'll be able to take pictures together. I'll sign everything that you want. Wow. And then there's it's gonna be lit. And then there's complimentary cocktails that we handcrafted, each of them named after a song on the new EP. Yeah, aside from you being a music artist, I knew that you had a love for music, because aside from people seeing you on TV, I know the other place I could find you, and that was at the Aretha Amphitheater. Yeah, I was like, where is he going to say that I've been? I practically live there. I've been doing concerts there every summer. I'm there for at least, I want to say, about three concerts. So it's such a great venue.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
Evrod Cassimy, The Life of James album comes out November 4th. That's also your last day on the air at WDIV TV. Yes. It has been a pleasure knowing you for this brief time. I've gotten a chance to know you, and I'm sure you will. You're definitely going to be missed amongst people across Metro Detroit. So all the best to you and you and your family in Chicago.
Thank you.
We'll be watching.
Thank you very much. Go get that album November 4th and learn all the words before the concert on November 5th.
I'm already doing it.
All right.
Everybody, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Great to chat with you.